Yes, people, another video, guys. The best time of the year for football is upon us, is FA Cup. Round 3, it's time for some predictions. Let's get straight into it. Right, Friday the 9th is when the fixtures get underway. The first, real fixture, it is Championship Sheffield United versus Championship Cardiff City. This is a good game. At the current time of recording, Chris Wilder's Sheffield found themselves first, having a good season. All considering they started on -1, so they are doing good things. It's working. The Chris Wilder influence was really working. For Cardiff, they're sat 21st in the relegation zone. Omer is certainly struggling a little bit. Obviously, he was given the intern job. He looks like he might be staying there for a bit of time yet, so I think Cardiff have to put him in, to be honest. He's doing an okay job, I guess. He's sort of stayed the ship a little bit, but they're not in a great position. Relegation's definitely looming. So, I think that this is going to be... It will be a close game, obviously, two championship teams, and it's very unpredictable. I mean, Sheffield might be a bit drained from all the league games, so they might be a bit vulnerable in this game. Cardiff can pants maybe. So, I'm probably going to say Sheffield 1, Cardiff 1 in normal time. And I think it's going to be a Sheffield winner at next time. So, Sheffield 1, Cardiff 1, and Sheffield's win in next time. Okay, up next is Fulham versus Watford from Craven Cottage. Decent game. Fulham have had a brilliant season, really. With Marco Silva, 8th in the Prem. You couldn't ask for much more than that. Certainly looking at getting that European spot. Watford have found themselves about a point out of the playoffs. Tom Cleverley's doing good things, guys. They're unbeaten at home, which is pretty impressive record to this point. Obviously, they are away, so that goes out the window with that stat, but still good to know. This is a difficult one to predict. I think Watford will be up for this. Fulham should be. I mean, Fulham have got a good chance, maybe. I mean, obviously, they're only 8th, so they're not guaranteed to get the European spot. So, I mean, a difficult run will be good. Some money they could get to the final, and they could potentially win it. I wouldn't put them past them. They're more than capable. But the lightness of that probably not going to happen. But prediction wise, I think I'm going to say Fulham 2, Watford 1. Be a close game, and I'll go right down to the wire. But yeah, Fulham to win. Fixture number 3, we've got Everton versus Peterborough, and this for me is my personal. Well, this is the game I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, Everton found themselves 16th. I suppose they've had a bit better season. There's been no reductions this season. I mean, they're playing a little bit better, but only a little bit. Still not in a position where they're safe, you know. Peterborough 13th in League One. Darren Ferguson's doing an okay job. He's sort of... I mean, they're in a rut where they just can't really seem to get the results. They're beating the team they should be. They can't beat the teams that are bigger than them, and they need to start pushing for them big wins if they want to get promotion and enter the playoffs. But for the time being, I think Dan Ferguson's doing an okay job. But this is an interesting game. I think as a Peterborough fan, I think Posh should be feeling very confident. I feel like Everton are not going to really try in this game. I think they'll struggle. I think injury crises are always with them, so this could be a difficult game for them. I think Peterborough have got this. I'm going to say, quite the shot, I'm going to say Everton 0, Peterborough 1. I think Peterborough have this. Match number 4, we got Wycombe Wanderers versus Portsmouth. Again, another interesting game. It's first of League One versus 22nd of Championship. Portsmouth struggling, they've had a difficult promotion. John Mousinho is certainly struggling a little bit. I think they need a lot of chances making in January if they want to survive. As for Wycombe, brilliant season. Matt Bloomfield, certainly in his own element. He's got a good way of play. He's making it difficult for a lot of teams now. Wycombe, they're flying, aren't they? Another close game. I think Wycombe probably have this, to be honest. Because realistically, there's not very much of a gap, really. If you think about it, I feel like Portsmouth have got a very League One rated team still. There's too many players there which aren't really ready for the Championship, so this, I think, will go Wycombe's way. I'll say Wycombe 2, Portsmouth 1. the first Premier League clash. It is Aston Villa versus West Ham United from Villa Park. Again, interesting game. This could go all the way. I think Villa, obviously, they've had an okay season. I mean, I think with the Champions League, it's the first time for a while they've sort of experienced this sort of fixture clashes, so the team's a bit drained. Sat 7th, they're doing okay. Obviously, I think they could be doing better. West Ham 14th, I think Julian Lopetegui has certainly got to a rocky start. I mean, a brilliant summer window, but the team are not really cutting it, guys. They're really struggling for the results. So, yeah, it really is a case of West Ham just trying to improve. I mean, he's rumoured to be leaving Lopetegui, so wouldn't put past them getting rid of him. This will be a close game. I think it'll go right down to the wire. I think I'm going to say Villa 2, West Ham 2, and I think it might go to pens. And on pens, I'm going to back West Ham. Surprising with West Ham. So yeah, West Ham 2 on penalties. Bristol City versus Wolves. Another good game. It's always nice seeing a Championship versus Premier League because you never know what's going to happen with them, really. From Ashton Gate, of course. Bristol 11th. Liam Manning's doing quite a good job, really, I think. I mean, it's certainly better than the last couple of seasons. A bit more of an ambition this season. I think the playoffs aren't out there reach completely. They might have an opportunity, but still very early days, really, in the Championship. Wolves are still very fresh at the time of recording. It's only been a few days since Gary O'Neill was sacked. Vitor Pereira, an agreement's been made. His first game is coming up at this weekend, a few weeks away from the round 3 action. Obviously, I think by then he might have, and the team will have settled with him. This will be a difficult game, and it's one that I actually think Bristol are capable of winning, but Wolves will definitely try. But this is a difficult game, really. I think, prediction-wise, I'm going to say Bristol 1, Wolves 1, and then I think Bristol might just win it next time with a late winner. The closest fixture of the round, Middlesbrough versus Blackburn Rovers. Middlesbrough 6th, Blackburn 5th in the Championship. So yeah, very, very close game. This is almost like a playoff semi-final. That's what it sort of feels like. That sort of energy going into it. I think Carrick and John Eustace have certainly had a good season, especially John Eustace, considering he didn't have the greatest track record going into this season, and Blackburn only just survived last season. So you think of the improvement, especially after losing players like Smodics. They've certainly coped quite well, man. Obviously for Middlesbrough, I think the loan sign of Ben Dokes works absolutely brilliantly. He's been a real sensation for them. He's been one of the best players. So yeah, both teams doing good things. Very close game. I reckon this will be a 2-2 draw in normal time. I reckon it goes pens, and I think I'm going to back Blackburn to win on pens. Up next, it's battle of the League One teams. It is Birmingham City versus Lincoln City. This is another close game. Obviously, League One, very unpredictable league, so you never know what you're going to get. With Birmingham, they currently find themselves 2nd, just behind Wycombe. Lincoln 9th. Lincoln have had a good season. Obviously, they just bottled playoffs last season. Birmingham are looking for straight back promotion to the Championship. I think Chris Davies has done an okay job, and for Lincoln, Michael Scowell has done an okay job as well. They're both in good positions. It will be a close game. I think, though, Birmingham will edge it. I'm going to say Birmingham 2, Lincoln 1. It will be a close game, but yeah, Birmingham for me. Up next, it is a very interesting game. It is Liverpool versus Accrington Stanley. I'll play the famous clip.
Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually Liverpool. It was Liverpool fans that made that. So this is a very interesting game, I will say. I'm quite excited to see how this pans out. The Reds found themselves first at this time recording the Prem, 5 points clear at the top. I think Liverpool, you'd expect them to probably easily win this game, but I'm not gonna lie. I think Accrington Stanley, they'll bring a good fan base. This is a massive game for them. It's a fairy tale game for them, really. You know, this is a game in their wildest dreams. Arne Slot's done wondrous things with Liverpool. You know, Jurgen Klopp. I think we look at his legacy that he left behind. It's been undone almost by Arne Slot. A brilliant season so far for Liverpool. They hope to keep it up. John Doolan, Yeah, I mean, it's not been a great season for Accrington. Obviously, struggling with 21st in the relegation zone. They're facing back-to-back back-to-back relegations at this point, so it's not looking great. I mean, I like to say that they will still, because I do like Accrington. They're quite a good team, nice fan-friendly team. So hopefully, I wish them the best of luck staying up. As for the game, I think this is Liverpool's. I think it's going to be about 3 or 4 on Liverpool. Yeah, I'll say Liverpool 4, Accrington Stanley 0. I'm sorry, Accrington, but I can't see it getting a result here. Alright, up next it is another interesting game. Two teams both on the edge of relegation in their respective leagues. Leicester City versus Queen's Park Rangers at the King Power. Leicester 17th, they've struggled to come back up. Obviously, it's still quite fresh with Van Nistelrooy coming in. He struggled to really get anything going result-wise, but I think things will improve. He seems a good manager. He seems a good manager with good vision, good energy going forward. So it should work well. For QPR, Cifuentes, another season, they're struggling again. Relegation's on the brink. I think it's probably time for a change at QPR, but I say that the last 6 managers have all failed miserably. So yeah, it's not looking good for QPR really. Bleak future really. As for the game, it's a close one. QPR are capable, and I actually think QPR might get a bit of an upset here. So I'm going to say Leicester City 0, QPR 1. Early goal, hang on to it. It'd be a huge win for QPR, and all the best to QPR. Hope they win. Up next, it is Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town, a Premier League fixture of last season. Things have changed ever since. It's been a brilliant season for Forest. I mean, Nuno Santo is doing massive things. They are 4th in the Premier League at this time recording. 4th place. A Champions League spot awaits if they can keep it up. So, very exciting season for Nottingham Forest. A lot's changed in such little time. Steve Cooper did a great job getting them back up, but then Nuno's given them this bit extra dimension, and they are smashing it now. As for Luton and Rob Edwards, they've certainly struggled, guys. It was a difficult summer after going down. A lot of players left. They've had to make do with a lot of free agent signings, loan signings. I think they're struggling. Luton, 19th place, not ideal. Back-to-back relegation on the cards. So as for the game-wise, I think this is Forest. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 3, Luton Town 1. I'm sorry, Luton, but Forest have this, I think. Up next, it is Brentford versus Plymouth Argyle. This actually is another interesting game. It's Wayne Rooney's first real test against a Prem team so far. Brentford sat 11th in the Prem. They're doing quite good with Brentford. It's been quite a steady season after, at this point in summer, they lost Ivan Toney. I think they're struggling. I think they're coping quite well. As for Plymouth, Rooney is struggling a little bit. I know people are confident in this battle, but 23rd place, guys. His last 2 jobs, he did an awful job at Birmingham, and to think he's going to keep them up Plymouth, I don't think it's happened. So I think Rooney's got a very bleak future. But yeah, Frank and Rooney, it's an interesting clash between 2 very good managers. Result-wise, I think this would be Brentford. I'm going to say Brentford 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. Brentford have this, I think. Up next, quite the distance between these 2 teams. It is second in the league, second in the Premier League, Chelsea versus 23rd of League 2, Morecambe. Real mismatch for this. Chelsea flying in the Prem. They've turned around. Enzo Maresca's doing big things. As for Morecambe, I think Derek Adams is really out of sorts at the moment. They can't get results together. They've only just moved from 24th to 23rd, and they're still level on points with Carlisle, so it's not really an ideal situation. So I'm not got much confidence in Morecambe. They'll bring us a packed out away, and I'm sure. So a bit of money there won't do any harm. But yeah, this is Chelsea's game. I'm going to say Chelsea 4, Morecambe 0. I'm sorry, Morecambe, but I don't see having a chance in this game. Up next, we've got Bournemouth versus West Brom, and Bournemouth really have turned the corner massively this season. Andoni Iraola is just completely changing. They're 6th in the Prem, they're staring at a Europa League place, which is great to see for them. As for West Brom, it's been an okay season. The 2 points from playoffs, it's certainly makeable if they keep their heads together. I think Carlos Corberan's done an okay job. Results-wise in this game, I'm probably going to back West Brom. I'm not going to lie. I think West Brom might be up for this. I know Bournemouth are 6th and they got the form, but I think West Brom might be up for this. Bournemouth will make changes. They might play a lot of youngsters. Interesting game, but yeah, I think this is West Brom. I'm going to say Bournemouth 0, West Brom 1. Up next, we've got Norwich City versus Brighton and Hove Albion. From Carroll Road, Norwich not doing an ideal job. They're not really in the playoffs. I think Johannes Hoff certainly struggled since coming in from Denmark. I think for Norwich, it's a case of just trying now to get playoffs and making some January signings and adding to their quality and squad depth. For Brighton, Fabian Hersler has had a wonderful start. He's come in, new vision, there's new belief in the fans that they can get a Champions League place, maybe an Europa League place if they're lucky. Brighton doing well. He's made a big difference, Hersler. Score-wise, this is going to be a close game. I think Brighton probably have this. I think it's going to be Norwich 0. Brighton 2. Brighton, I think for me, they're more capable of getting to the semis like last season. So, we'll see what happens with Brighton. Up next, it is Preston North End versus Charlton Athletic from Deepdale. Preston in, I wouldn't say ideal form, 16th. Certainly a bit different to what last season they were with Ryan Lowe, but certainly form has improved a little bit from Paul Heckingbottom. For Charlton, Nathan Jones is the mid-table, 14th. He's doing an okay job. He's getting results. They're just there, but they're not really pushing for anything this season. There's a bit of, there's no real vision this season. I think Charlton might struggle getting into the playoffs, but still a chance. I think score-wise, I think Preston probably have this. I'd be surprised if Charlton get a result here. I'll say Preston 1, Charlton 0. It'll be a close game, but Preston have this for me. Right guys, up next we've got Reading versus Burnley from Mr. Carleton Stadium. Reading have had a good season. Things have really turned a corner. I think this season, with Noel Hunt, he's doing a good job really. He's got them to 6th in the League One. And playoffs are certainly in their favour. So I think for Reading it's a case of just trying to push. As for Burnley, also very good sitting 3rd in that playoff spot. Scott Parker, he's come in. He's got to a flying start. Some good results coming in. I think fixture-wise, I don't know why it's a close game. I think Burnley probably do stand out a lot more than Reading. I think Reading might lack that quality going forward. I think Burnley will have this. I'll say Reading 1, Burnley 3. Sorry to Reading fans, but I think Burnley have this game. Up next, we've got what last season was a League One fixture. It is Exeter City versus Oxford United from St James Park. Exeter on the table in League One. I think it's not too bad under circumstances. I think Gary Caldwell's just getting the results in there, isn't he? Oxford, they recently sacked, of course, Des Birmingham. The job's vacant. I'm not gonna lie, there's not really any rumours to who's going to replace him, to be honest. So that's interesting, really. So I think John Terry is linked. He's the only real man linked to the job, so that might happen. Be interesting to see that happen. But for the time being, I think Oxford, it's a case now of just trying to get the results in now. They're struggling, obviously, in the relegation zone. I think score prediction wise, I think Oxford should be okay here. I'll say Exeter City 0, Oxford 1. I think Oxford are more capable, so good luck Oxford. Up next is a championship clash. It is Sunderland versus Stoke City from the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 4th, Regis Labris has done a wonderful job so far. They're sitting in the playoff spot. Fans are happy, fans are delirious. It's going to be a good chance for them. I think playoffs very much in their favour. Stoke, they're struggling a little bit. Obviously, Narcis Palach has not done a great job really since coming in. He's steadied the ship a little bit, but I think they expect more fans. I'm still surprised by sacked Steven Schumacher. I don't think it was the right decision, but I'm sure if it happens in long term with that. Score-wise, I think Stoke might have this, to be honest. I think the momentum for Sunderland might just work against them a little bit. So I think Stoke have this. I'm going to say Sunderland 1, Stoke City 2. Up next, guys, we've got Leeds United versus Harrogate Town. A very exciting game. It is a Yorkshire derby between two teams very close to one another. Obviously, Ellen Road, the atmosphere there for Leeds. Leeds second in the Championship. Very good place to be with promotion to the Prem, certainly in their favour. Harrogate, on the other hand, are struggling. 20th though in League 2. Certainly facing potential relegation to National League. Simon Weaver's trying, but I think it was a matter of time before he gets to that maybe. It's a big game. I think Leeds have the momentum. The atmosphere will probably carry them to the win. I'm going to say Leeds United 3, Harrogate 1. I feel a bit sorry for Harrogate in this game because I think it's a game they'd love to win. Be a massive win for them, but I think Leeds have this. So Leeds 3, Harrogate Town 1. Up next, we got another derby. This time a Manchester derby. It is Man City versus Salford City. This is a very exciting game. Man City fifth at the moment. They're struggling, guys. It feels like Pep's dominance is completely depleted, and teams are. Everyone's beating them left, right, and centre at the moment. So you feel there's a real problem at City. For Salford, they're okay, mid-table. I think Carl Robinson's done an okay job. Guardiola will definitely be trying his hardest in this game to get a result, but I do think Salford are in with a chance. Will they win? Probably not. City will still probably get a result. Yeah, I think this is Pep's best chance for a trophy this season, going for the FA Cup maybe. I'm going to say Man City 3, Salford City 1, but I do think Salford might be in with chances still, but for the quality of City, they'll play a full team probably, so yeah, might work against Salford, but yeah, that's my final prediction. Up next, we've got Southerners Leyton Orient versus the East Midlands Derby County from the Golden Group Stadium. Leyton at the moment 18th in League One. They're coming off a bit of poor form, and their win last weekend against Wigan was one that certainly got the fans some momentum and some league momentum as well. Derby 14th coming off that result against Portsmouth on last Friday. I think Richie Wellens and Paul Warren both go for this game with good ambitions, but I don't know really. I think the game, it's a very interesting game. Obviously, it was a League One fixture last year, and I think Derby will probably come out on top. But I certainly would say they're not completely out, and they're not completely with a shout at Leyton Orient. But I'm going to say Leyton Orient 0, Derby County 1. Close game. Yeah, I think Derby will just edge the win here. Up next, it is Birmingham side Coventry City versus Sheffield Wednesday from the Coventry Building Society Stadium. Coventry 15th from Lampard era, off to a slow start, but I think it will improve. Sheffield Wednesday doing okay with Danny Roll. He's been a real, he's made a big addition to the squad. There is rumours that he's involved with the Southampton job, which it could happen. I think they'll hope it doesn't, because he's really sorted them out massively, Danny Roll. But score-wise, I think this will be a close game. I think Sheffield might have the edge here, to be honest. I'll say Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. It'd be a massive result for them. And all the best to Sheffield Wednesday. Right, guys, off to Fieldmoor next for Mansfield versus Wigan Athletic. Big game for Athletics and for Mansfield, obviously. Both teams in okay form. Mansfield have certainly improved a little bit. I think Nigel Clough's doing an alright job. He's got the ship steady. First season since promotion, so certainly going at it the right way. Wigan, on the other hand, obviously we've got the game against Shrewsbury tomorrow, which hopefully goes our way. But yeah, form's not been the kindest for us recently. But I think the FA Cup, guys, I think we won it in 2013. I think it's a competition with a lot of momentum for us. I think we'll get the win here at Field Mill. I'm gonna say Mansfield Town 0, Wigan 1. Close game, but I think we'll get a result from somewhere. Up next for me is the fixture of the entire weekend. It is Tamworth Town versus Tottenham Hotspur. This is just massive, guys. This is a massive game for Tamworth. It's a case of non-league versus Premier League. It reminds me a lot of the game where Tottenham faced Marine in 2021, but obviously there's fans this time, which adds to that momentum. I think it is from the long ground. Tamworth 16th National League, obviously form's on their side, but in this competition, guys, maybe I think the fans and the momentum might just back me. I think potentially, but Tottenham, the 10th. I think Postecoglou is certainly struggling. He's linked to a leave. It might happen, might not happen. I think Tottenham should have this really, but I think it'll be a close game. I actually think they'll try. I think the way it'll go, I think Andy Peake's in Tamworth. I think Tamworth will take the lead, but I think Tottenham will score 2 late goals to win. So I'll say Tamworth 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Exciting game, but yeah, I think Tottenham just have the edge here. Next, we've got Hull City versus Doncaster Rovers at the NKM Stadium. Hull City 24th, right bottom of the Championship. Not at all what we expected after last season's brilliant season with Liam Rosedale. I still can't believe it's happened, to be honest. It still feels a weird decision which has affected them massively. Doncaster sat in a playoff spot in League 2 with Grant McCann. He's got him in decent form. Obviously, Grant McCann returns to his former club, so that'll be interesting to see. Score-wise, I think Doncaster might be up for this, guys. I'm going to go Hull City 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. It's a big bold prediction, but yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go. Up next it is Newcastle versus Bromley from St James's Park. Newcastle 12 from the Prem. Eddie Howe's doing his job, but he's got them in a comfortable position. Obviously, they're not really trying for anything this season. I think Europeans might be out of the question, really. But relegation's nowhere near for them, so that's something to not worry about. As for Bromley, relegation's not completely out of the question. They're 14th, 10 places, but still a lot of work to be done from Andy Woodman. For Eddie Howe, like I said, he's done an okay job. This should be Newcastle's win. I think Bromley might struggle here. I'm going to say Newcastle 3, Bromley 1. I think Newcastle should be okay here. So yeah, I'm going to back the Jolly Boys here. Right, guys, up next we've got Ipswich Town versus League One's Bristol Rovers from Portman Road. Ipswich 18th, relegation inbound. Hopefully they can fix themselves, because I like Kim McKenna, a good young manager who's got a good sense about him, a lot of optimism. So yeah, I hope they can work it out. Bristol Rovers have recently sacked, of course, Matt Taylor. It is Dave Horseman and Lee Catamol who are covering at the moment. So I mean, you'll think they could do probably an okay job at steadying the ship until they do find a new manager. But score-wise, I think this will be a close game. I think it's going to be 1-0 normal time, and I think Ipswich will edge out on penalties. So yeah, 1-0 normal time and Ipswich 2 on penalties. Right, up next, another memorable game of the round. It is Arsenal versus the Red Devils, Manchester United from the Emirates. I mean, to think that there's 10 places between these two great teams, man. Arsenal third, Man United 13th in the Prem. Arteta and Amorim's first meeting. It's a very interesting game. I think it could go either way, really. I think there'll be a lot. I think there will be goals. I reckon it's going to be Arsenal 2, Man United 2. I think there'll be a late goal next time, so I think it's going to be Arsenal 2, Man United 3, late goal maybe, and yeah, Man United might just get a surprise one here. And it'll do Amorim the word of good to get the fans a bit of confidence. Up next, another very interesting game is Crystal Palace versus Stockport from Selhurst Park. Palace bang slap mid-table, 15th at this time of recording. I think that it's a game they should be winning, but Stockport 5th, some good momentum. I think Dave Chalmers done a good job. Gladstone, I think the end of last season was really inspiring, and then this season started not as good as they wanted to. I think obviously losing the league was a big factor in terms of their struggle this season a little bit. In terms of Stockport, obviously Louis Barry's linked to either returning to his parent club Aston Villa and going to the Championship. So if they lose him, it's a lot of depth. It's a lot of quality lost. So I hope they can just keep him for a bit longer. But I don't know. I think Crystal Palace had this. I'm going to say Palace 1, Stockport 0. Close game, but if they don't keep Barry yet, then they'll win this game. Up next, it is Premier League Southampton versus Welsh Championship side Swansea City. Southampton at rock bottom of the Prem. Obviously, Russell Martin's just been sacked, and it is Simon Rusk who's covering for the time being. Swansea and Luke Williams, they've had an okay season so far. I think that the form is there for Swansea. They just need to keep pushing. They might get a playoff place. For Southampton, a lot of work needs doing to get them out of this mess. I'm going to back Swansea in this game. I'm going to say Southampton 0, Swansea 1. Be a big win for the Swans, but yeah, hopefully they can get them. Right guys, final game of the 32. It is Millwall versus Dagenham and Readingham from the Den. Millwall are in okay form. There's been a bit of improvement from Neil Harris. So for them it's a case of just trying to get that playoff spot maybe. It'll be difficult though. As for Dag and Red, 14th in the National League, mid-table. I think this will be a close game, to be honest. I think Millwall are not guaranteed a result here. I think they'll get the result, but not guaranteed it by any means. So I think Dag and Red deserve a bit of credit. So I'm going to say Millwall 1, Dag and Red 0. Close game, a late win I think for Millwall. So yeah, that job done. So as usual, thank you for joining us today and watching this FA Cup round 3 predictions. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I hope you enjoyed what I said. And let us know down below if your team's playing. Let us know what your predictions are and if you agree with mine or not. So yeah, until next time, have a good one, guys.